Can you hear me? Do I need to put my AirPods in?
Hey, take your time.
Go ahead and get started whenever you're ready.
All right. Well, thank you so much. This is the first time we've ever been joined from outside of the United States, down there in Bastyr, St. Kitts and Nevis at Ross University. And I've got a room full here with me at Velma Jackson. We're recording this for our class of 2022 here at Velma Jackson High School and also for our YouTube channel. So this is really a treat for us, and thank you so much. I know you're extremely busy. I've been reading about the university. It looks like a crazy schedule. We've got a lot to cover. So take us through Raymond High School, Hinds Community College, Jackson State for 2 degrees, and now to the Caribbean for getting a doctorate in veterinary medicine. Seems like an unbelievable journey for a girl from Raymond, Mississippi.
Absolutely, absolutely. So thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here. I was thinking the other day, I was like, man, I think it's 7 years post high school graduation. So I was like, dang, only 3 more until a high school reunion. So give me a second. I did create a PowerPoint that I can go ahead and share with everybody.
And that weather looks pretty incredible down there.
Yeah, the weather is nice. I don't miss, so like the weather here is always warm. Even when it's not that warm, it's always warm.
And it's a different kind of heat. It's not the Mississippi heat that just knocks you in the face.
Yeah, but see, it's weird because it's still a humid heat, right? But it's just, wait.
I see it.
No, I can't. Okay, can you see everything?
It says that you're sharing, but I don't see what you're sharing.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, I got it.
Okay, cool. But yeah, it's definitely a different type of heat. It's still humid. I don't know, it's just different. It's way more bearable because even when you open the car door, you can just go ahead and get in. You don't have to wait like 10 minutes outside your car and let everything, kind of all the heat escape.
That's awesome.
So I can't see everyone, but I just want to say hi. I'm Sabrevian. You probably hear Coach P refer to me as Aisha. And I'm just going to take you a little bit through my journey, like you said, of leaving Raymond High to where I am now, being a first year veterinary student. So I titled this, Are We There Yet? All right, so who am I? I'm just a little Black girl from Mississippi, born and raised. I'm a product of Mississippi public school systems, an HBCU graduate, and now, as I previously mentioned, a first year veterinary medical student. All right, so just to give you a little bit of background from each milestone. So at Raymond High, I was able to establish myself early on just because I was a part of extracurricular activities. I was on the basketball team. I was part of our National Beta Club. I was part of just everything that I could be a part of and still be, a great academic student. I was. And so, being involved in so many different things, I made connections, not only with, of course, my friends, but also with great teachers like Coach P. Like, y'all, I'm telling you, he is a tool. Use him. He knows some of everybody. And if he does not, he will figure it out for you. So I made connections with my teachers. I made connections with the counselors that were there. Any and everybody I could, just in case that they thought of something like, let me hit up Sabrevian. Let me figure out, is this something she'd be interested in? Because I know, she's a go-getter. She likes this, she likes that. So just put yourself in a position to, basically win, to make connections with these people. And through that, I was able to create goals for myself, right? Like, so I didn't know totally what it was that I wanted to do. I knew it was something in the medical field. But I didn't know exactly what. And it wasn't until later on that, like, my what I wanted solidified in my mind. So I graduated in 2015. And then I went to Hinds Community College, the Utica campus, just throw it out there. And so before I get started into that, I know for me personally, and everything that I say, it's because of that's how I thought. I'm not saying that that's how you guys think, but for me,
No, absolutely. I mean, yeah, everybody's path is different.
Right. And so for me, graduating from high school, like I had these D1 offers. I had friends who went to that went to 4-year institutions. And I was like, man, like I don't want to be the one that goes to a community college. Let me tell y'all something. That community college became everything for me. Like I literally met so many good people. So I took an academic scholarship through their STEM program, which paid for everything. Plus, it gave us a semesterly stipend. And so I was also a student athlete, which in turn did cause my grades to drop a little. However, I was still there, like making connections with people. I became a representative for our college through that. They flew me out to DC for a week where I went to a symposium. And so I was just able to do so many things because of attending this small community college. And through that, I actually gained a scholarship, right? So as I previously mentioned, my grades did drop while I was there. However, just because I went to this community college, I was able to qualify for a scholarship as a transitioning student to a 4-year institution. Now, there are like different tiers depending on where your GPA is, so that is also important. But just with a 3.0 GPA, which is, super attainable, I was able to get all of my tuition paid for at Jackson State, like literally all of it paid for. And they do have others that can get you more than that. But so once I made it to Jackson State, I started over completely. Like I didn't know anybody. I had to redefine basically who I was. They didn't know that I played ball, nor did they care. Like they didn't know, who I was from anybody. So I had to, make new friends, build relationships with these professors who are 10 times busier than, and can care, less about what people like minor stuff, if that makes sense. Like they care about it, but they are busy. They have everything, they have their own stuff going on. So I had to join organizations. I had to, like I said, make those connections again. And eventually my grades did pick back up. So I did not mention, but while I was at Hinds, one of my teachers, who's now like one of my best mentors, and I love her to death, she introduced me to her mentor at Jackson State. And so I started, dibbling, dabbling in a little bit of research. And so one summer while I was still at Hinds, I did some research for Jackson State University, got paid that summer. And once I transitioned over to Jackson State, the guy, he hit me up again, who I love to death now. Dr. Hill, he hit me up again and he was just like, hey, I see you made it over. Would you still be interested in doing research here, full time now? And I'm like, and he's just like, what do you have to lose? And I love that so much because a lot of times, especially while we're young, we're like, oh, we don't have time. Oh, I got better stuff. What you got to do? Like this is literally your main thing right now. And so I was like, you know what? Yeah. So this was another opportunity for me to meet people. This was another opportunity for me to get some experience with research, with research workshops and like public speaking. And I was also getting paid semesterly. Now, this was more than what I got at, when I was at Hinds. So this was like a pay increase, if that makes sense. So I did pursue a bachelor's in biology, and I graduated in 2019. And then, yes, I chose Jackson State again because why not? But seriously, so at this point, I pretty much figured out, okay, vet med is the route for me. But I can't go yet because I need to be, a competitive applicant. I need to make them look twice at my my application. So how can I set myself up in order to be the best applicant possible? And so ideally, I wasn't going to go get a master's. I was just decided to, I had just decided to sit out for however long, go find somebody's clinic to work at, to shadow, and to get all of this experience, right? And so my mentor, Dr. Hill, he came to me again and he was just like, what are you about to do with your life? Congratulations, but what are you about to do with your life? And I was just like, I'm about to, just go and work and kind of figure it out. And he was like, tell you what, if I pay for you to come get your master's, will you come to this program? Try it out, see if you like it. And I was just like, yeah, why not? He was like, but, he was like, you can do what you want to do, but this time challenge yourself a little bit, do it in chemistry. And I was just like, chemistry? Like, are you serious? Me, chemistry? Yeah. And then I was like, you know what? Why not? So this time I'm back at Jackson State. I'm getting my master's in chemistry, and you see dollar signs because yes, it was completely paid for. Yes, I was getting paid while it was happening. Program roughly 2.5 years, just depending on the timeline of everything. And so after 2 years of my master's program, we had a little bump. And just to kind of insert, this is my baby Leo. I just had to insert him because I miss him, and I think this picture of him was so cute. So after 2 years of my master's program, boom, I dropped out, right? And so not so much as dropped out, but I was accepted into veterinary school. I had applied, and the crazy part is I wasn't even going to apply. I was just like, I've gotten a lot of experience so far, but I don't think I'm ready yet. And I was just like, but why not? Because, if I don't get accepted, cool. But if I get accepted, then that would be amazing, right? So yes, I did get accepted. And y'all, this was one of like the hardest decisions of my life, to decide to leave everything I know, everything that I'm comfortable with, everything that screams Aisha, right? To leave everything at home and then come to this island over here to pursue a degree. So I guess I did finish my coursework, and I still have a little bit of like the aftermath, like defending and everything to do, which hopefully one day I will get back to. But just to kind of fast forward to today, here I am, Ross University School of Veterinary Medicine, literally took the biggest leap of faith of my entire life. And y'all, it has been one of the most rewarding decisions I've ever made, honestly. And I couldn't be happier. Don't get me wrong, it's hard. Literally, it is the most difficult thing I've ever done. However, there is no reward without a risk. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I'm still figuring it out. I am a first semester. This is an accelerated program, so it does move faster than your typical 4-year veterinary medicine track. But so I'm still figuring it out. But yeah, so this time you see dollar signs, but those dollar signs are not going into my pocket. They are going to this institution funding this degree. And that's just where we are right now. So I've basically caught you up from literally where you are sitting to 7 years later where I am now.
Yeah, and that's incredible.
Thank you. It's been tough, but I'm so very grateful for running into good, and when I say good people, I mean good-hearted, honest people like Coach P, like so many others that I have found, and who have actually taken the time out to talk to me, to speak to me, to make me feel like I'm human and like what I want to do with my life matters. So what I've learned so far is, and that basically brings me to my first point, is that who you surround yourself with is so important. That does not mean always at the friend level, of course, at the friend level, because it's important to surround yourself with like-minded individuals, but also, be careful of those adults that you associate with. I remember one time I was in high school actually, and I was getting some community service hours. And I was volunteering at Salvation Army. And I was telling the lady like, oh yeah, because at the time I thought I wanted to go to dental school. And so she was like, well, if I were you, I would rethink that, because my husband is in medical school right now and we never see him. And I was just like, how dare you? If anything, you should be telling me, go ahead, do it. You can do it. And so, that was just a lesson. Like, you can't listen to everybody. You can't surround yourself. You cannot tell your dreams and your ambitions to everybody, because some people can care less if you make them. Some people, honestly won't remember your name after you walk out the room. So make sure you surround yourself with those individuals who will pour into you. The next point is it's okay to be afraid. Do that crazy, scary thing anyway. And I'm smiling because I'm literally living it. Like coming to an island. I wish I could like give y'all a mini island tour. And this is a picture of it that I use as a backdrop for this slide. It's a beautiful place. However, it is nothing like the States. And it dang on for sure ain't nothing like Mississippi, right? Everything's different. So on top of being in an accelerated program, here I am learning the way of an island, learning the way of these people and their culture, and being respectful of so many different things that, you know, is a beautiful place to be, but it's also very frightening. You know, we drive on the other side of the road, on the other side of the car, and I got to stop in the middle of the road because about 30 sheep are about to cross in front of me. So it is one of, like I said, the most rewarding things I've ever done. Move on to my next point. Where there's a will, there is a way. If you're dedicated and you're determined and you want to do that thing, I'm telling you, do it. Like, you can't let small things, you can't let negativity, you can't let, you know, fears and doubts and all of these things get in your way. If you want to succeed, you will place yourself in that best position. Because there was a point in time where while doing my master's, I was scared. I was like, what if I get caught in this loop and I never get out to do what it is that I want to do? And, you know, and there's nothing wrong with people who choose to do that, but just make sure that what you are choosing is what you want to do as an individual and not what people want for you, or what mama or grandma or, you know, or Mr. I don't know, Hightower, what he wants for you. And the last thing, patience is power. I know you're sitting there now, and some of you may know exactly what it is you want to do, and some of you may not, and that is completely okay. I'm telling y'all, like there are points in times where still now I'm winging it, I'm figuring it out, and I would rather wait and make a sound decision than to do something that I have no clue about, than to just throw myself into something and be like, all right, well, you know, just be all willy-nilly about it. So just make sure that what you're doing is what's best for you. And that doesn't mean that it's not going to be hard. That doesn't mean that somebody going to give you a golden ticket and be like, you know, come on in. No, that means that sometimes you got to fight, crawl, cry, pray your way up out that thing until, you know, you are where you want to be. All right. So I have 3 questions for you guys. Not too much, but I want you to write these 3 questions down. The first one is, who am I now? Sitting in this chair right now in Coach P class, who am I? You know, and that's just overall as a person. Am I somebody who, you know, I have to be told 3 or 4 times to do the same exact thing? Am I somebody who takes initiative to do things on my own? Am I somebody who likes to follow the crowd and do the dumb stuff that everybody laughs at? Or am I somebody who, you know, who I'm a leader, and because I was like the mama out of the friend group, whatever. And that doesn't mean that I don't like to have fun. And
understatement of the century right there.
Say it again.
That is the understatement of the century right there.
You know what?
Yes.
No matter where I went, I was always the mama out of the friend group. And you know, and sometimes people look at that as like, oh, she thought she was better. Oh, she thought, no, it was just that, you know, I was who I was and I was true to myself. And that's so very important to me. So who are you now sitting in that chair? And where do you see yourself within the next year? 1 year from today. So March 7th, 2023, where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself in industry already? Do you see yourself possibly getting a trade? Do you see yourself in the military? Do you see yourself at a 4-year, 2 years? Like, where exactly do you see yourself? And another thing is to make sure that these things are real. Don't lie to yourself, because you ain't lying to nobody around you. So make sure you're not lying to yourself. Are these goals attainable? Is this something that's like, all right, now, you know, these goals have to be realistic. And the third thing is, am I pushing myself to my fullest potential? Are you every day going as hard as you can to be the best that you can? And that doesn't mean that you don't deserve a break, that you don't get tired. Absolutely. But by the time the end of the week comes, can you wholeheartedly say, did I give it my best? And these things are not easy to do. You know, I look at it every week because I'm like, man, I just want to break. Man, I'm so tired. And, you know, sometimes I literally do nothing. but also I know I needed that. And I know that in order to do my best, I have to be my best. I have to feel my best. So don't get those two confused. Like, it's okay to take a break. They are needed. Very much so, they are needed. And we're coming to the end of this presentation. I just want you guys to remember that the only impossible journey is the one you never began. Like, you cannot say, oh, I want to do this. And really, that's what pushed me to go ahead and apply for vet school, because I was like, I keep telling, like, I would literally meet everybody and I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm working on my master's at Jackson State right now. And I'd be like, yeah, but I'm going to vet school. And they're like, oh, okay, when? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to vet school. And I had like no answer for them, right? Because I didn't know, but that was because that was a goal of mine that I actually never set forth into action. Like, I was doing everything that I was planning, everything that I need to plan. But at some point you literally have to start. You just got to start. And this here will be the last slide. And I added this because I was actually done, but I added this because I was going through pictures to like add to this presentation. And I ran across this, like, I'm a big person of like words and phrases that fit me and can help motivate me. So I actually screenshotted this for me, and I feel like you guys or anyone can benefit from it as well. So understand this. You are not missing out on anything when you are busy working on your goals and dreams. Stay focused. I know, because like coming over here, I'm just like, man, I'm gonna miss out on so much stuff. I'm gonna, miss everything that I know. And it's just like, no, when you have something that it is that you want to do, when you have a dream that you want to make a reality, you're gonna have to lose some things. You're gonna have to lose some people. You're gonna make hella sacrifices within your life to push you to where it is that you want to be. And it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be so, so rewarding. So I just want to encourage you guys that no matter what it is that you want to do, no matter how crazy you think it is or far-fetched, you can do that thing. Start by making connections with these people. If you want to do something and if you're interested in this career and you don't know a single person in this career, reach out to Coach P. I guarantee you he does. And if he doesn't know, he gonna find out somebody who knows. He gonna, because, and those are the type of people that we need in our lives. Those are the type of those people who can make those connections that we can't make for ourselves. And so just be sure to start somewhere, to stay focused, and to go after whatever the heck it is that you want in your life. Like, go do that thing and go make yourself proud. All right, everybody, I'm done. I would love to answer any questions, or I would love to hear any feedback, any comments, anything.
Well, I have a few before I get to the students' questions. And just because we have a few watching now, we'll have some that watch later that are interested in playing intercollegiate athletics. And obviously playing for Coach Tamika Reed at Hinds Community College is not for the faint of heart. So take us, tell us about the difference between playing high school basketball and playing college basketball, because it is a completely different schedule and a completely different level of demand.
Yes, it is. So high school, oh my gosh, I miss it so much, right? Even on the academic side. But when you look at high school athletics and compare it to collegiate athletics, there's honestly no comparison. It's in high school, it's fun. It's something that you can do like on your outside time. Technically, you aren't really missing any class to do it. It fits within your schedule. It's everything is basically laid out for you, and it's just like, here, come on in when you get a chance. And so transitioning to college was like, whoa, it's like, either wait, what's the saying? Get out the, wait, I'm not gonna say it because I don't know what I'm saying. But anyway, it's just like either get with it or get gone. Like, nobody has time for your mess. These are these people's livelihoods at this point. This is how they feed their families. These coaches, they don't care nothing about that attitude. You gone. They don't care nothing about you know, you got a headache, oh, you gone. And another part is, yes, you have to keep your grades up, but at this point, nobody's gonna like, did you turn that in? Did you figure that out? There's no such thing as your teacher walking down the hall to go, you know, talk to your coach, or to go, you know, tell them, you know, tap you on your butt and be like, tell them get it together. No, you just won't be playing. If those grades are where they should not be, you just won't be playing. If you're having these other issues outside and you're coming up with all these excuses, you just won't be playing. So it definitely needs a different type of discipline and dedication. And if that's something you want to do, I 100% say go for it, because it does teach you to be a very disciplined individual. And we all could use discipline, just being honest. But yeah, just if it's something you want to do, just make sure and that you're like, okay, I dedicate myself 100% to this, because you're going to miss out on class, and nobody's going to be like, okay, so you missed on chapter 6, 7, go read part 1. No, that's going to be strictly your job to figure that out. There's going to be nobody's going to hold your hand through this process anymore. At that point, you will be an adult and you will be treated like such. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Especially with these coaches like you had that have Division I aspirations, you know, they're not going to take it easy on anybody. If they're trying to get to the next level, they're going to treat it like it's the next level. So I think that's important. And we have one of our first questions is going to be from one who's already signed to play football at Northeast, but we'll get to his question in a second.
Congratulations.
Oh yeah, and he's a great student as well. But also, let's talk a little bit about the class sizes of these colleges, because and you've been up here before. It's a small school. We have, you know, right now I have 10 in the room with me, and we have 3 watching remotely in the school. And we'll have, I think our graduating class is about 70 this year. So it's not a huge. So, you know, we have kids, and you had some classmates that went to Ole Miss and went to Mississippi State, and they didn't make it because that class size can be overwhelming. So why is it important to really consider the benefits of community college like Hinds, or, you know, and we're close to Holmes here as well? Why is it important to really consider that when it comes to making that transition from high school to college?
So when you look at community colleges versus university, it's a numbers game. It's strictly a numbers game. The more that institution brings in, the better for them. And so what you get that you aren't necessarily afforded the opportunity of at a 4-year institution is that at a community college, you get a chance to have that one-on-one relationship with not only your classmates, but with faculty, with administration. You know, at my community college, I was able to literally go knock on the president of the Utica campus's door and be like, hey, I'm out here. I just wanted to say hi. And I love her to death. But at Jackson State, no, like they gonna be suited and booted waiting at the door for me, like, you know, well, what's up? Did you make an appointment? Did you do this? You literally cannot get from one place of the tower to the next without security being with you. And so same thing for these classroom sizes. That brought me back to, like, once you make it to these 4-year institutions, a lot of time you have teachers who are possibly working on research themselves, or are over grants, or over all these. So not only do they teach, but they wear many hats. They're over different clubs. They do X, Y, and Z. And so it's important to make yourself known, and you can, you know, create that relationship with them, but it takes extra effort. You know, they're not just going to be sitting around twiddling their thumbs. And another thing is, you know, they may not even know your name, let alone that, not to say that they won't know your face, but to know your name is a different story. Like, I kind of made it my business, especially in those classes where I was struggling with once I got to Jackson State. This teacher needs to know my name. Like, even if I pop in and be like, oh, what you got for lunch today? Just so they could be like, oh, that's Sabrevian. She comes in often. I know what she has going on. And then, that's another thing that's very important for recommendations. It's much easier to get a recommendation at a community college than it is at a 4-year institution. Why? Because at a 2-year institution, these people, they know your names, they know you, they pretty much know your work ethic, they know you, they know your personality. Whereas at a 4-year place, they'll tell you, oh, okay, send me your CV. And you're like, my what? Just send me your CV, I'll write you something. And that's so much of what it is. But if they know you, and if they know who you are as a person, as a student, you know, you can be confident in what they write. You don't have to worry like, oh, I really hope she mentioned X, Y, and Z. No, you will know that she mentioned X, Y, and Z. Why? Because she knows you. Because because, you've introduced yourself and you basically made it hard for them to forget you. So for me, as outgoing as I may seem, like I'm very shy at heart. And so for me, that community college step was perfect in getting me out of my comfort zone, and allowing me to, come out of my shell and establish myself in a bigger room. Because when you get to a four-year institution, you're for sure a small fish in a big pond.
Yeah, and a lot of those community college teachers, like Stephanie Burks out there at Utica, they're super connected as well. And I know you're being really humble right now, but you didn't even mention your internship in California that you did while you were at Hinds at UC Santa Barbara. So before I get to the students' questions, let's hear about that, because that's a big deal as well.
Definitely. So while I was transitioning at Jackson State, I was fortunate enough to get this internship that was so it was, what was it? It was JSU, because it had an acronym to it, but it was designed strictly for HBCU students. They flew us out to California. We did research, and I didn't know this, but so this is a whole initiative going on that the UC schools do. And so they bring students from all over the country from HBCUs, and they set up these different programs for it. So of course I was in a chemistry-led program. However, I've made some of like my closest friends who were English majors. We had some that were, oh God, I don't want to murder it, but it was basically like speech language majors. I don't know what it's called, but who majored in like language. And so they talked about different things like code switching and being able to, communicate effectively with all these different people, no matter the room that you're in. And so it was basically a really good time. We spent an entire summer out in California. And actually some of the programs, they were in two locations. They were in LA for a while. So I believe they were at UC Davis maybe. And then they came up to UC Santa Barbara for, the second half of the summer. And so y'all, there is money out there for us. We just have to position ourselves to grab it. And we gotta, bring people along with us once. And so that's why I think it's so important to give back to, because some people straight up do not know. But when it's a difference, and you just gotta go after it, because there is money to grab for sure.
Yeah, we have a Velma Jackson alum that's at Alcorn now that's doing that same program at UC Irvine. She's doing it this summer. So yeah, she was able to tell them about it, and she's getting paid to go out there for 8 weeks. And
literally, and I mean, this is not chump change.
Yeah.
This is not chump change, y'all. This is like a nice little grip of money to have. And while you're there, of course, you everything is paid for. They sit you in your own apartment. Literally the only thing you're responsible for is like getting your food, because they provide transportation, bus passes, all of that. So, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and it's cool. I mean, I would never want to live in California, but being there temporary has got to be cool, because it is a cool place to visit.
Oh my God, it's so nice. And just the Santa Barbara area, oh, it's so nice. And it's different, and it gives you so much exposure to like being somewhere different, meeting different people, meeting people who, look like you, but are not from where you're from.
Yeah.
So it's really a beautiful thing. And then learning how to effectively communicate with people in general, like it definitely, exposes you, and exposure is just so important.
Absolutely. Well, I want to get to some of these students' questions. This first one is Carson Day. He's our Mr. Velma Jackson, and he just signed to play football at Northeast Mississippi Community College. And his question is, how would you describe your the biggest difference between your community college experience versus your four-year experience?
Oh man. So Hinds was like high school 2.0 for me. A couple of my friends were there, and also because it was so small, we were a very close-knit family. So I'm not gonna lie, when I first got to Jackson State, I hated it. I called my mama crying one day, and I was just like, "Ma, these people don't know me. I don't know these people." And she was just like, "Are you talking?" And I was like, she was like, "Okay, well, you got to open up your mouth and you got to talk to these people. You have to, and everybody is not going to greet you back with the same smile. And that is okay. You just have to push yourself out of your comfort zone." So it taught me to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's something that you're going to learn at every phase of your life. And, you know, if you want to go as a person, you definitely should. But it was different because, you know, like I had mentioned earlier, these people don't know you. They pretty much have their friends group already established. And that's okay too, because, you know, sometimes you'll meet some of your closest friends. I have one of my best friends now. She's in PA school out in Colorado, and that's exactly where she's from. So this is somebody who, you know, I can go to Colorado to visit one of my closest friends, and she's not from there. And so who would think I would have made best friends with somebody who's from Denver, Colorado? So, you know, it just gives you an opportunity to meet more people, to create more relationships. And I don't know, I think absolutely you should make the best out of it, for sure. Join organizations, meet people, talk, you know, the whole 9 yards.
Absolutely. This is Derek Bush. He's one of our basketball players. And he asked, after going to 2 HBCUs, what made you choose a university out of the country?
Okay, so this program, unlike a lot of the other ones that I applied for, this program was an accelerated program. And so, as I had mentioned, your typical veterinary medicine track is 4 years, and then you can choose to do residency, you know, if you so choose. So this one is an accelerated program, which means I'll be done in about 2.5 years. I'm on island for 2.5, right? I'm on island for 2.5 years, and then I'll come back and finish the remainder of the year in the States at a clinic, well, not a clinic, at a university there, one that that I get accepted into. And so yeah, it allowed me to go to school year round. It allowed me to become exposed to a different culture in a different country, which is absolutely beautiful. I wish y'all could see my view right now. And you know, just basically it just gave me more exposure, and you know, I'll be done with my degree faster as well. That's a bonus.
Now this is Corlin Murray, and she asked, what is the hardest part about adjusting to a different culture outside of the US?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say being respectful of their culture. A lot of times, you know, we get so caught up in what we're used to and how we perceive things and what it is that we won't need and what we're used to. And, you know, we become spoiled, we become brats. And so here, you know, there is no Walmart. I can't go to Walgreens real quick and grab me some ice cream. I can't go to Kroger and fill up my, so it shows you so much, and you learn, and you're just grateful because you come here and you see these people are like, you know, living their best lives, and they don't have half of what we have back home. And it's just like, so it teaches you to like enjoy the simple things in life, like what you think you need, you really don't need. You can live without it. And just, you know, the people here are beautiful. They don't like, it's so funny because if you walk into a restaurant around 5:30, they say good night. And, you know, originally you'll be like, good night, but that's their way of speaking. So no matter where you go, everybody speaks, everybody speaks to you when you walk by or when you walk into a room. And so I think just learning to embrace their culture, because like I said, at first it can be kind of scary, you know, it's different here. That's the best word to put, but it's a very beautiful thing to be exposed to.
Oh, absolutely. This is Isaac Thomas, and he asked, what's the wildest animal you've ever dealt with?
Oh God, the wildest animal. So I'm from Mississippi, so of course I've dealt with like large animal before, but so far nothing much, because like when you're in first semester, you don't gain much like hands-on. We've had a couple labs where we've gotten experience. So right now, I think it would just have to be a sheep. And don't be like, oh, that's a goat, because it's not. A sheep and a goat are two different things. And so right now it's a sheep. I think I'm gonna veer towards mixed animals. So I do want to stay within small animal, but also large. I'm good on exotics. I think they're very cool. I think they're so pretty and nice to look at. But for right now, I'm gonna stick with mixed animal.
Not as much of a job market for that one either.
And that's another thing too. It's so much of what we do is, trying to figure out what's the best like how can you place yourself best in your like in your field, in your area. And you can't go to some place where the well is dry. You want to go to where it's an ongoing thing. And yeah, you're right, exotics, that's just kind of not where it's at. especially in Mississippi also. That's another thing.
Even in the United States, that's not a one that's real as popular. Now this is Jasmine Williamson. She's our Miss Velma Jackson, and she is joining the Air Force and wants to be a nurse. But obviously she's going to be away from home. So her question is, what's the most exciting part about moving far away?
For me, it was honestly proving to myself that I could do it. I've always been like an independent individual, but also I'm very family oriented. Like, you don't see me without my family when I'm at home. And so just proving to myself that I can do this, like I can go away from home and I can flourish, and that's not to say that, some nights you don't get sad and you don't miss your family, but thank God that's what we have Skype for. That's what we have FaceTime, and that's what we have technology for these days. So just proving to myself that I could do it, and that also I did not know how to cook before I moved, but I ain't missing no meals. So just to put that out there, I'm learning. And so yeah, just embracing your new normal for sure.
Absolutely. Now this is Kendrick Lindsay, and this is an interesting question. He asked, what is your dream animal to work with?
My dream animal to work with? It would definitely be something on to actually work with. I don't really just know that right now. Like, I know I wanna wait, who is this asking me this question? This is a good question.
Kendrick Lindsay.
Okay, Kendrick, you asked me a question. I don't really just know how to answer it just yet. My dream animal, I would probably say some sort of bird. And I say that because I am not a bird fan. Like, even at home, when we have our chickens and stuff, I'm good. Like, I can look at them from afar. So I think that that's something that I'm not really just comfortable with, because when they get to flapping them wings and it just make a lot of noise, I don't like that. Like, that gives me anxiety. So I think so that will push me more to wildlife or maybe exotics or something. But if I'm ever blessed with the opportunity to work with them on a professional level, I would absolutely hands down love it.
Yeah, and that definitely be something different. I just have two more for you. One's funny and one serious. The funny one is, I've asked almost every single person that came through Raymond High School class of 2015 this same question. They all have the same answer, and that's the funny part. As somebody, just like everybody that's with me right now, when you were a senior in high school, you sat in the same room with me. How much of what I told you about what's going to happen in life actually happened?
Oh, definitely all of it. Definitely. Coach P is one who shoots from the hip. Like, if he tell you, you can mark it down, cross it out, because it's done. It just ain't happened yet. And that's why I said, make connections with this guy. Even if you don't like him, that doesn't mean that, you can't learn from him. Because he knows a lot. And like I said, what I love about him is that if he doesn't know, he will find out for you. So just make sure this is a guy that you have in your corner for sure. Because my guy be knowing. He be knowing.
Well, everything you get, you deserve, and has very little to do with me. So, just the road is still long, and it's just going to be great for you. But before we go, Raymond High, that community is very similar to our community, very rural, majority Black. And you've been up here, and you were shocked at the stuff we have here that you did not have. Because you said that to me yourself. You're like, what in the world? Y'all actually have MacBooks? Y'all get to do all this stuff online? Like, we didn't get to do any of that. And yet, look at where you are. So, there's somebody that come from a very similar background, and even less in high school, but yet you've done some amazing things, and you're going to be part of a very small percentage of Black female veterinarians. There's just not many in the country. So, that's an accomplishment in itself. So what can these seniors do? They're graduating in 11 weeks. So what can they do now to start preparing to follow in somebody like yours footsteps?
Let me just start off by saying congratulations, guys. Like the road, the options are endless. Um, just whatever it is you want to do, set your mind to. But I would say to prepare yourself, I would honestly say to make two lists, to do a short-term goal and goals list, and then do versus a long term. Like what is it that you want to achieve right now? When I asked you earlier, within the year, that can go a little more towards your long term. But for short term, what is it that you want to do by the end of this year, within the next 6 months? What is it that you hope to achieve, accomplish? Where do you see your life? Where do you see yourself being? And so give yourself a time frame for everything, because you can look up and years have passed and you're like, dang, I still ain't went back to school yet. And for some people that's great, they had no desire, and kudos to them. But for those of you who would like to pursue higher education, create a list for yourself. What's the thing called, the little board that you can make for yourself?
Big board.
Yes, create a vision. Create a vision board. Put things on there that you would like to achieve. Even if it's like to just be a happier person, start there. Start with your mental, because that is so very important. For the young lady who's going to the Air Force, make sure you go in with a clear conscience. Make sure that you do everything to build your mental health. And that's for each and every one of you, because for us, especially in this time right now, times are trying. We see a lot of stuff going on in the news. We see a lot of stuff on social media, and those things, if you let them, can consume you. So make sure you are at a very healthy place mentally. And just try to surround yourself with as much positivity, realistic positivity as possible. Don't let people gas you up and sell you no dream, because life is not always the sweetest thing possible. But you can do it, and you can, and I feel like each and every one of you will be very successful.
Well, that's amazing, and thank you so much for joining us in your busy schedule. And you're one of the highlights of my career, and I cannot tell you how proud I am of you. It's just I'm so proud to have had just a small part in your amazing life, and the road's not going to end for you, and you're such an inspiration. And our entire senior class is going to see this, and we just thank you so much, and just such a great story.
Thank y'all for having me. Thank y'all. And hopefully this will not be the last time. Hopefully I can update you, a couple months from now, and see if I have any more tidbits or gems that have been passed to me that I can pass to y'all.
Oh, we're definitely going to do this again. The one positive of COVID, we've gotten really good at doing this.
Yes.
All right. Well, I love you to the moon and back. I'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Love you guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.